there's clearly a disconnect in the program in terms of development of the players. And, just we're seeing regression across the board from lots of different guys. And, I mean, there's been a couple of guys who have stayed at the same level, but you expect them to maybe get better and be more impactful. And you would even like to see the young guys make some plays. Bro, there were 2 balls that could have been intercepted in the end zone. Cam Kinchins on the first drive, and then Marcus Clark. Lord Jesus, if I had to see that play again. But Marcus Clark coming in, he's a rotation defensive back, was an athlete from, when he came from high school and everything. He transitions to play defense, high points the ball. I mean, but there's a mass of bodies around, doesn't make the catch. It gets tipped around. The guy rolls around on his back, sees it pop up. Let me get that for a touchdown. But the Miami player had their hands on that ball. So if you catch that and come down with it, interception, touchback, Miami football, they don't score there. That's a huge, huge, huge play. But it doesn't even need to be a superstar player, because we had younger players who could make superstar plays, who could make program-changing plays, or these massive moments where they could step up, and they didn't. Those are the things that need to happen, And I don't need it to be a specific player. I just need the play to be made. So I didn't need it to be Tyreek Stevenson on that play, because Tyreek Stevenson wasn't there to make the play. But Marcus Clark was there to make the play. And unfortunately, even with a great, what you expect to be a PBU, a once-in-a-lifetime catch happens on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, that's been the thing more for me. And then there's other guys who just, plain and simple, haven't performed. De'Aaron King being 90% of his former self and performing at, 30, 35%? Optimization from what we've seen from him, even at Miami last year. He's not the same guy, performance-wise. And I'm not going to say that it's the injury, coming back from the ACL, because he's still running. He still had a game with, 100 yards rushing. He's still throwing the ball fine. Now, I mean, I told you when I saw him coming back in that last game a couple games ago, the Michigan State game, so his shoulder's not right. Now, that's a different thing. But even before that, it wasn't like he was balling and all of a sudden got hurt and then just couldn't play anymore. De'Aaron King hasn't been playing to the level, so I don't know if it's I know it's on development in the program, but at some point you got to play for pride. At some point you got to do what needs done, and there's just guys who are not doing what needs done.
Muhammad, we appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for the super chat contribution. We will get to all of these right now. All right. If you did not check out our show last week prior to the Virginia game, please do so. Cam addressed in full his viewpoint on the program as it stands right now, and Manny Diaz and his leadership of the program. So it's an excellent listen. Please give it so. Mohammed, Manny is not the problem. He needs to hire real assistant coaches that can actually teach and just be the players' best friends, or not just be the players' best friends, but the biggest problem, we don't have real teachers teaching these players. Am I wrong?
I think that you're wrong in some instances. I think that Manny is obviously part of the problem. He's not the entire problem, but he's been here for 6 years now. So you can't talk about culture. You can't talk about recruiting. And my metaphorical hair, I'm going to pull out if I hear him talking about, if there's just more recruiting that can be done. Miami has more talent on the roster you can shake a stick at. I'm sorry. They just do. So, I don't want to hear anything about recruiting as a demerit or towards the level of talent that's on the roster. And I'm tired of hearing Manny talk about that. And also talking about it as though he has not been here for all of the last 6 seasons recruiting these players. So you're talking about, linebacker and everything. Oh, well, we don't have the players at linebacker. Manny, what did you coach when you were defensive coordinator? What position did you coach and recruit? Linebacker, right? How many good linebacker classes have you had? The first. Shaq, Mike, and Zach. Past that, where they been? Sam Brooks tore up an ACL in high school. Very talented, but obviously, a little bit of an open box special. Wayman Steed, clearly same thing. You have all these, Avery Huff, a very talented, multifaceted player who played linebacker, rush end, and safety in high school, but to really make him into a linebacker, maybe that's going to take a while. But you want to talk about this as we don't have enough talent. And, then citing certain positions, bro, that was your position. So I don't want to hear that. Coming back to the point, I think that there are teachers on this staff. I just don't think that everybody's a great teacher. I think that Hickson, the running backs coach, very quiet guy, great teacher. Red Lashley, great teacher. I think that he's really struggling with calling this offense this year. I think he's really, really struggling to find the magic sauce or find the answer to the puzzle that is presented to him by the talent that he has available to him and the way that those players are performing. So I think that he's struggling in that way, but a demonstratedly great teacher. Rob Likens at wide receivers coach, again, another great teacher, had consecutive years with first-round draft picks at wide receiver. Stephen Field, great teacher, great developer. Garen Justice, I think he's a great teacher. You've seen what he's done in multiple jobs. Where the issues come from here on defense. I think that T-Rob, Travaris Robinson, great teacher, great developer, great recruiter. You can't assail anything that he's done. Jess Simpson as a defensive line coach, teacher, evaluator, developer, beyond par, beyond reproach in terms of that. For DeMarcus Van Dyke, it's incomplete for me because he's never done it before at this level. So I'm not going to say that he's bad. I'm just going to say I need to see more from him. But quietly, if you're looking at the way that the cornerbacks are playing throughout this season, you're seeing some development. And again, I just noted the Marcus Clark play. Now, he didn't finish the play all the way through, but he saw it. He ran. He was there. He timed it correctly. All things that cornerbacks at Miami have not previously been doing, he accomplished on that play. Didn't finish it all the way, but all the other interior pieces. So there's something to be hoped for there. Ishmael Aristide at outside linebackers, same thing. Haven't seen him at this level, coach or develop or teach, if you want to call it that. So there's a question there. Jonathan Patke, I have strong questions about him. Now, he's the brainchild behind the striker position, going to the 4-3, 4-2-5 hybrid look, whatever you want to call it, using this the hybrid safety outside backer, which really helped when we went to that, having that player instead of the three linebackers. But past that, hasn't really done much. Linebackers haven't really been great under his tutelage. I think that he really, really got lucky that you had a really perfectly suited player for striker in Romeo Finley, before. So I think that even Romeo Finley's ability covered up some of the deficiencies of Coach Patke. Inside linebackers have not been great this year. They've actually been pretty bad. So there's that. And then special teams. Special teams have not been good at all. So, and the thing is, it was always the kicking game was the thing that would give, that would hold up the special teams because the coverage units were usually pretty bad and the return units were pretty bad. So, 4 out of 6 units on, half. So kick return. Well, no, 4. I was right. Kick coverage, kick return, punt coverage, punt return. And then you have punt kick and field goal kick or place kicking. Yeah, so 4 out of your 6 specials are pretty bad. And those are both inside linebackers and, specials coached by the same guy. That's really where I'm like, I don't know about that. And then Manny Diaz, you want to be the man, right? So you get rid of your defensive coordinator, say that you're going to take back the sticks. You're going to be back over there because I'm the guy who designed this. I'm the guy who got us flying high on defense in 17 and 18 and things like that. So clearly me going back over there is going to be the panacea. I am the savior for what ails, or the cure for what ails this defense, and defense looking not great for large swaths of this season. And so he, as a coach or teacher, his performance now brings him off of, or being from beyond reproach and without question to definitely being on the questionable side. So, that's 4 guys on the defensive side of the ball, 2 of them brand new, and one of them was good and turning not great, and the other one has never really been good. That's where I would say the lack of teaching is readily apparent on this coaching staff, but it's not across everybody. And yeah, I just think that there's a lot that goes into it, and we've talked about it before. I think that they're playing the wrong players. I think that they're really embracing seniority at the expense of the increased talent and athleticism that will actually improve the performance on the field. So yeah, there's some things going right over there, and there's a lot of things going wrong. And the coaching and development is a major thing, because again, if you're going to have a coach talking about we need to recruit better, which is saying we need to have better players, then look in the mirror and ask yourself how and why you are not developing all the blue chip talent that you have on this roster. Because at every position, there are multiple players of blue chip caliber status that many colleges around the country wanted, that we got at the University of Miami, and who are playing terribly. And it's not 100% on the player. You got to look at the program. You have to look at the coordinated path of development, and you have to look at how you're using these players, because you're not using them to their highest ability.